The states of Kentucky and Ohio were now in a panic over the overwhelming defeat of the Union Army at the Battle of Richmond, Kentucky. The two states would respond in different manners to try to calm their citizens and to keep control of the two states under the Union banner. Which state had the better plan? And did both of them work to help ward off the Confederate attack? All aboard the Kentucky Tennessee Living Time Machine. Please fasten your seatbelts and keep your arms and legs inside of the vehicle at all times. But to get going, we need your help. We still need to fire up that time machine to transport us. Please help us by clicking on the like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons down below. Not only does this fire up the time machine for our flight back in time, but it convinces the YouTube algorithm that we need a bigger vehicle to reach more people who love history as much as you do. Now, back to our story. Kentucky's response to Richmond. When we pick up with the Confederate Heartland offensive, the battle for Richmond, Kentucky had just taken place. The Confederates had soundly defeated General Bull Nelson at one of the most decisive battles during the Civil War. On August 31st, General Edmund Kirby Smith was now marching his troops towards Frankfort, the capital of Kentucky. In fear for their lives, Governor James Fisher Robinson and the rest of the Unionist government fled to Louisville, Kentucky. Robinson issued a statement to the citizens of Kentucky. Quote, "The state has been invaded by an insolent foe. Her honor is sullied, her peace disturbed, and her integrity imperiled. He must be met and driven from our border, and it is in your power to do so. I, therefore, as Governor of the Commonwealth, deem it my duty to call upon every local citizen of Kentucky to rally to the defense of the state. I call upon the people then to rise up as a man and strike a blow for the defense of their native land, their property, and their homes. To arms! To arms! Never lay them down until the stars and stripes float in triumph throughout Kentucky." Unquote. This invoked a response from the citizens of Kentucky. Thousands of volunteers immediately rushed to Louisville, where 11 new regiments were organized for the Kentucky militia. General Gordon Granger said that there was at least 36,000 raw recruits who volunteered during that time. Because the Union government of Kentucky had fled to Louisville on September 3, 1862, the Confederate Army of Kentucky would march into the city of Frankfort, the capital of Kentucky, and raise the Confederate flag over the state. This marked the only time the Confederate forces would occupy a Union capital during the Civil War. Ohio's response to Richmond. The state of Ohio did not take the threat of the Confederate forces coming across the Ohio River lightly. Cincinnati was in real danger of being attacked, and it was the sixth largest city in the USA during the Civil War. In response, George Hatch, the mayor of Cincinnati, closed all businesses. Union General Lew Wallace declared martial law. In preparation of a possible attack, new defensive works were placed on the north side of the Ohio River around Cincinnati. More works were built on the south side of the Ohio River at the Covington and Newport cities. Wallace then organized the citizens of those cities to prepare for the defense of the area. Ohio had also received a call to arms, and approximately 15,000 untrained volunteers, known as Squirrel Hunters, responded and joined the Ohio Federal Army. General Wallace also seized 16 steamboats and armed them. Fear and panic overtook the Ohio River area. General Smith took advantage of this fear and gave orders for General Henry Heth to command an army. The mission was to head north from Lexington and scout out the Union defenses. Heth was not to attack Cincinnati, but do just enough to make the Federalists think that an attack was being planned, a sort of demonstration that an attack could happen at any time. The Black Brigade of Ohio. One of the groups that were organized was the Black Brigade of Cincinnati. This group, 706 members, was made up of free African Americans that were forcibly conscripted and given no weapons to defend themselves against the Confederates, and were given a few cavalry scouts. This brigade was given its own flag, and each man was paid a private salary of $13 for 1 month's service. The Black Brigade cleared hundreds of acres of forest and built fortifications in Kentucky to help protect Cincinnati. The brigade would build a breastworks along the border of southern Ohio and northern Kentucky, between Fort Thomas and Fort Bromley. These were placed far enough away from Cincinnati that the Confederates could not shell the city. Abatis obstructions, or obstructions placed in front of a breastworks to protect them from attack, were built so that the Confederates could not reach the breastworks easily. The brigade dug miles of rifle pits, and they would also build forts, magazines, and miles of useful military roads. Colonel Charles Whittlesey oversaw the construction of the defenses until he was relieved by Major James H. Simpson, Chief of Topographical Engineers for the Department of the Ohio. The Black Brigade was working straight out until September 20th, when they were no longer needed to help defend the city. For this amount of work to be accomplished with this amount of men, time, and resources is astounding. Armed and ready. The fortifications built by the Black Brigade were defended by 25,000 Union Army soldiers and 45,000 local militia volunteers, including the Wallace Guards. More support came in the form of 15,000 so-called Squirrel Hunters, untrained volunteers from other parts of Ohio. The Squirrel Hunters brought with them their own guns, which was woefully outdated for the cause of war. On September 5th, Ohio Governor David Todd announced to the citizens of Ohio that no further volunteers were needed, and that they felt that they had enough for now to defend Cincinnati. However, Todd also advised that all military organizations that were in place should be kept in place, and that they should be at the ready in case of future needs. In next week's video, we will discuss General Henry Heth's arrival in Covington, Kentucky, and the skirmishes he had with the Union Army of Ohio. How would Heth view the defenses of Cincinnati, and would he attack the city? Thank you. We at Kentucky, Tennessee Living would like to thank you for watching our video series on the Appalachian Civil War battles. Don't forget to hit that like button, as the more likes we receive, the more likely YouTube is to suggest our videos to other viewers. Also, to receive notice when we upload a new video, be sure to subscribe and click the bell notification button. Be sure to double check that you are subscribed, as some of our viewers are finding that they are no longer subscribed to our channel. We thank you for continuing to support Kentucky, Tennessee Living as we are discovering the mysteries in Appalachian history.